is Robert Hutchins. I work for the Delray Beach Police Department, and the people that I'm going to be training are the SWAT team operators. Today is just kind of a basic run through of what we would do typically on the beginning of the week, which would be a Monday. First, what we're going to start off with is the rower. We're going to do about 10-minute warm up on the rower. This is just to get the blood flowing, just to get the tissues moving, the body moving and whatnot. So what you want to do is strap yourself in. You're just going to go on just row. You can do meters, watts, cal, however you feel like doing it, but you're just going to do 10 minutes of easy rowing. What I want you to do is use your legs for the beginning part of the movement. So arms are straight, posture is straight, you use your legs, kick back, pull straight to your chest. Right? Some people do thumbless, or you could do a thumb grip on it, so you can use your legs and pull back. Right here, you're just going to work on your breathing. Using your legs, pulling straight back. Using your legs, pulling straight back. If you don't have a rower, you can use a bicycle, you can jump rope, whatever you want to get warmed up. But our warm-ups typically run about 10 minutes long, and that's to get the blood flowing and the body moving. Once you get a good feel for it, all right, we're going to get into our strength portion. Today's strength portion, we're going to do kettlebell swings, we're going to do power cleans, and we're going to do benches. For the kettlebell swing, we're going to start with our feet just outside our hips. We're going to squat down, pick up that kettlebell, have it here. What we want to use is the hip hinge to be able to lift this kettlebell up and overhead. All right? So thumbs around, grip is on, use that hip hinge. You can either come straight up or you can swing it up, using your hips and your lower body to get this kettlebell up there. All right, we're going to do sets of 25, 4 times. We're going to rest a minute in between, and that's where we're going to go on that. For our bench press, it's coming off the kettlebell. That's going to be a full body workout. It's actually going to get your heart rate elevated as well. For the bench press, okay, we're going to get down underneath, eyes underneath the bar. Some people like to go wide grip, some people like to go close grip. I'm more myself a wide grip to build that upper back as well as the pectoral muscles. Some people do flat feet, some people have a little arch to them. It all depends on the lifter and what you're comfortable with. From here, you're going to pop it off, come straight down, touching your chest, and explode up. You want to try to have that good speed going up, building that power. All right, we're going to do a 5x5 on that. And what that's working is your pectorals, it's working your upper back, your arms, a little bit of your front delts, all right? When you release to go back up, you're going to want to have like that boxing mentality. So big breath in. I like to call it bridging the core. So you're going to bridge the core with that big breath in. Come in, everything's tight, tight, tight. And as you're going up, building that power. Some people will add bands, some people will add chains. It all depends on you and what you want to do. But for this exercise today, you would just do a 5x5, roughly around 70-75%. And that's to get the body moving. As the weeks go on, your weight's going to go up. But then also too is your reps would go down. So if you're going 5x5, then you're gonna go down to maybe a 5x3, and then maybe a 5x2, and then hit sets of 1. Sets of 1 are normally gonna be in your 90% percentile. So again, on this one, we're gonna rest a minute and 30 seconds in between. This is just that 135 just to give you a gist and show you. Eyes are underneath the bar. Bridge that core, stay tight, come down, stay tight, press. Come down, stay tight, press. You want to press straight up. Things you want to avoid is kind of pressing out, or maybe you're pressing towards the rack like that. What you want to do is just press it straight up. straight up. Avoid bouncing off the chest. That's why I like to bring it down slow, have it touch, or if not, even rest on your chest, and then press it straight up. What I don't want to see is definitely the bouncing technique, which would be, all right, you're going to bring it down, press, press. Once you hit your 5x5, like I said, you're going to rest 1 minute and 30 seconds in between each set. You're going to go to power cleans. Still in our strength portion, our power cleans. We're going to have our legs in our power stance, which would be just your natural stance. Your legs are going to be right underneath your hips. The bar is going to be close. Your hands are going to be on the outsides. So your hands will be on the outsides. You want a neutral spine, using your legs. What you're going to do is push through the ground. As you're pushing through the ground, you're going to shrug into it, extend the hip. After you extended the hip, that's when you're going to begin to pull up and throw your elbows underneath. So it's going to look like this. Coming up, throw your elbows underneath, and this is your finishing stance. Remember, power clean is your hip crease can't go above the top of your patella. So you can catch it here, you can catch it here, you can catch it here. As long as this doesn't go below the top of your kneecap, you're still in a power clean stance. This is going to be another one where you're going to do 5x5, hitting here, and up, and up. You want to keep that bar path straight. It should almost be like as if there was a bar here and you wouldn't make contact with that bar at all because your bar path is straight, straight, straight. When you get here, all you're doing is throwing your elbows underneath. That's it. The bar shouldn't be being reverse curled or anything. There shouldn't be a big drastic movement. It should be up, 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 throw your elbows, catch the bar. Same thing, 5x5, rest in 1 minute and 30 in between each set. So, alright, that's going to be what the strength portion is. Then, you're going to take a little breather, and we're going to get into the workout portion. This portion is going to get the heart rate up, as well as moving weight. So, on our particular workout today, we would do 10 bent over rows, 10 over the bar burpees for 5 rounds. So a bent over row, you're just going to be in this stance, that neutral spine. Shouldn't be any big arches, shouldn't be a big cave in it. Should be that neutral spine, grabbing outside the bar. Our legs are going to be in our power stance. And we're just going to keep that neutral spine and up, up, up. When you're pulling up, you want to pinch those shoulder blades back and then contract. So here, back down. Here, back down. Maintaining that neutral spine. You shouldn't be kind of arched like this or way up like this. It should be in a nice stance. Here, pull. Once you complete 10 of those, it's going to be 10 over the bar burpees. So what you're going to do is all the way down, quads, chest, hit the ground, come up and over, down and over. This is going to jack your heart rate up. And when you jack your heart rate up, now you're burning fat because you're in the high intensity zone. So once you're in the high intensity zone, you're still moving weight, but you're also burning fat at the same time, building your cardio up. Also too is, the way we like to do this on squat would be mimic something that might be kind of tactical or combat related versus, you know, heart rate's up, you're in a house on a search warrant, somebody goes down, and you got to get them out of there, so now you're picking them up. moving them to one spot to the other. Heart rate's up. That's what the burpees are there for. What I like to say is the burpees are kind of an inconvenience. The easy part is the row, the burpees is the inconvenience of what you gotta do. So you're gonna do that for 5 rounds, and you're gonna time yourself. So you have the timer going. Fewer weeks down the road, you might test yourself again, see if your cardio built up, see if the weight becomes maybe a little bit lighter because now you're getting stronger, you're working muscles you didn't work before, and done. Once you're done with that, you're gonna go into like a cool down. So cool down, I would say, if you have the rower, what you're gonna do is just a nice easy row, especially coming from burpees and a lot of weight movement. You just want that nice, easy, steady row. And what this is doing is just bringing the heart rate back down to where it needs to be. If you want to find out your max heart rate, you'll take 220, subtract your age, and that's going to be your max heart rate. That's when you're going to burn your most fat. That's what we like to call the red zone. So I like to have on hand now you can get the heart rate monitors that go here, you can get them down here. I have just the finger one. So what I do is kind of put it on the client's arm, put it on one of my SWAT guys' finger, and you can see I'm at 131. So my target heart rate would be in the higher 180s, so 131, slowly coming down. And that's where that cool down will be. Also too, is you're definitely going to want to stretch your hips. You don't want to stretch your hips in the beginning when they're cold, but after all these movements, everything's going to be flowing. You don't want to stretch your hips. So what I like to do would be the first one. We want that vertical shin, C-cup our leg. Using my elbow, we're going to push it out. And that's starting to loosen up the groin area, the hip area. You're going to hold that position for 1:30. And then what you're going to do is you're going to externally rotate that ankle. Using this right arm as a kickstand, you're going to drop down, and you should feel all this tissue start opening up and stretching. And you're going to just stretch it out. Same thing with SWAT. There's a lot of gear. We sit in cars for long periods of time, which kind of, you know, buckle up all that tissue inside your hips. So you're going to want to loosen it up. Once you hit this for 1:30, you're going to internally roll that ankle back over. You're going to drop back on your trail leg, keeping this leg straight, and we're going to reach down, we're going to stretch. This is going to stretch the hamstring and the glute area. So we're just going to reach down, hold it. You'll do that for 1:30. Then what you're going to do is you're going to switch sides. So you switch sides, same thing. C-cup, keeping that vertical shin, using that elbow to kind of push it out. And then same thing, you'll externally rotate onto the next one and then stretch there. From there, we're going to go into that pigeon style pose. So that's just getting your leg underneath here and dropping down. Same thing is going to loosen all this. Like I said, for being a law enforcement officer, you're just going to sit in your car a lot, drive around. So all this tissue gets kind of binded up and you need to break it open, continue to stay flexible. What I've noticed is a lot of this deep stretching right before bed helps me sleep better at night. The body tends to kind of release the tension, you feel a little more relaxed, and you're able to sleep a little better at night. And then you switch sides again. And 1:30. If you still feel tight, you can go back to the other side and then switch back and forth. Also, what I suggest would be doing some foam rolling. About 10 minutes of foam rolling. Hit the key areas that bother you. So mine would usually be my lower back to my thoracic area. So thoracic and lumbar, I tend to foam roll, hit it with the lacrosse ball, kind of open up those tissues, kind of break those adhesions. It's kind of like a scab where you just kind of meshed together, so you want to break that up and allow the tissue to move a little bit more freely. Once you're done with that, what I suggest is good source of protein. Definitely hydrate, because you're going to burn a lot of sweat during this, and a good amount of sleep. So your 8 hours of sleep. I know this. Some people, it's not easy to get 8 hours depending on your work schedule, kids, school, vice versa. But you want to try to get the proper amount of rest, the proper amount of nutrients, and always rehydrate yourself and keep yourself away from sugar. That's it.